Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. This is Todd with Industrial Comfort. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a really cool Japanese Naguri pattern making jig for your router so you can make some really cool patterns on your wood projects. In this version we have a more uniform pattern, and then this one was more random. While I'm still getting used to using it to make patterns, it's definitely turned into one of my favorite jigs in the workshop. Let me show you how to make one. I'm starting the project with a piece of plain pine common board. And what I've done is draw out a rectangle that is 6.5 inches long by 5.5 inches wide. And I found the center by measuring in 2 3/4 inches from the side of the narrow side, and then 3 1/4 inches down against the 6.5 inch side. So this is going to give me center right here. Now what I'm going to do for the next step is use a Dremel and a circle cutter to create a circle in here, which is essentially going to create the collar for my router base. Now I'm using a Bosch 1617 variable speed, which has a 3.5 inch, or actually a very slightly narrower 3.5 inch base. Now yours may differ in size depending on what model router you have, so you might want to just make sure you measure so that you know what size circle to create for your collar. Once the center circle is done, I'll then cut out the shape of the rectangle that I've created, which we'll ultimately use as the swing arm for this jig. Now, it's important that you have these lines created now, because what we're going to end up doing in a future step is drilling a hole on either side to allow this piece to pivot. So let's get our Dremel to create the circle. You can use a number of different tools to make the circle. You can get a really big drill bit, or you can use a bandsaw. I think I'm going to go with the Dremel and see how well it works. Now for this step, I'm using a Dremel that has a circle cutter on it. Now it has an up spiral bit. I'm not sure if you can see from this angle. This is going to take a while. This is a 3/4 inch piece of common board. We'll see how well it works. I mean, it is soft wood. I've done this before. It's kind of a pain, but it's the method that I'm preferring to go with rather than the bandsaw, which kind of won't create a clean cut, but we'll see how it works out. I took this over to the table saw and I cut the rectangle out. Now, while I was there, I also cut down the center line to create a clamp, which is going to secure the router base. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to take a spare bolt that I had on my workbench and a nut, and I'm going to secure it across this gap. To do so, this is a 3.5 inch bolt. I'm going to measure 1.5 inches down on either side, which is going to give us another, well, it's going to give us a little bit of clearance on the end so that we can fit the bolt, or the nut rather, on. And I'm just going to mark this out. And I've decided to go down about 3/4 of an inch. And this is the cutaway that I'm going to make. And then we'll drill a hole through to the center, and we'll pass this bolt through and use it to secure the router base. I'm using a 1/4 inch brad point bit, and I'm measuring at center here, which is 3/8 of an inch. Now, I probably shouldn't have cut this opening before I made the holes here, just because there's going to be some flex when I drill down. So I happen to find a piece of steel, which in this case is a bench dog, that's the same width as the opening that I cut here at 1/8 inch. So I'm going to start the hole with this bit, and then I'm going to switch to a longer standard bit to finish the hole. While I'm working on the rest of the project, I'm just going to put a drop of glue in the hole here and glue the pegs in place. I'm using a piece of 3/8 inch plywood for the base of this jig. Now, the insert, or the pivot, is 5.5 inches wide. So if I'm using 3/4 inch sides, I'm going to add 1.5 inches because I've got one on either side. Now, in addition to that, I'm going to add an extra 1/16 inch to account for some washers that I'm going to put in between the swing plate and the sides of this jig. So if I have 5.5 and I'm adding another 1.5 inches, that'll bring me to 7, and then I'll mark at 7 1/16. And I've marked this out at 12 inches, so I'll just take 7 1/16 inch off this, and then we'll create the sides that we'll put on either end. With the router base clamped in place, I'm going to put it next to the base, or what's going to serve as the bottom of this jig. And what I've done, if you can notice, is I've left some space here just to give us a little bit of buffer in case we need to raise or lower the router. Now, I'm measuring almost exactly 5.5 inches up. And like I said, this is going to give us room to move the router down, but it's also giving us space to increase the length of the bit if we decide to push the bit out a little bit. So I feel comfortable measuring the pivot point at 5.5 inches up, and then we'll add a few inches on top to provide some stability for the jig. I've taken the two pieces of wood that I'm going to use for the sides, and I've just taped them together here so that I can get even cuts and measurements. What I've done, so this is a little over 7 inches. So what I've done is mark up 3 3/4 inches, and I'm going to cut in at a 45-degree angle on either side. Then what I've done is measured 5 inches up to, and I was incorrect, this is actually a piece of 1/2 inch, not 3/8 inch plywood that I'm using for the base. So in order to get to the 5.5 inches on the pivot point, I account for the 1/2 inch and I measure up 5 inches. So I'm going to drill a 1/4 inch hole here to accommodate the wood pins from the last step after I've gone ahead and make the cuts here. We're going to take this plate made in an earlier step, and I'm going to take a washer and I'm going to slip it over the wooden peg, and I'm going to put the peg in the hole that we drilled. I'm then going to take another washer, slip it over this one, and I am going to put the side in place. Then what I'm going to do is use a clamp to keep everything where I'd like it. I'm going to line everything up and clamp it in place, and I am going to drill Now I've pre-drilled with a countersink bit so that these heads will fit nicely underneath and you won't get any friction. As a matter of fact, I'm going to screw this in before I drill the other one. Alright, I've got the router in place, and you'll notice that it won't swing. I need to open up the hole underneath. So I'm going to turn the router on, and we're going to clear the pocket. You'll probably notice that I added a couple of braces in the front and the back. Now this is to serve two purposes. The first of which is I wanted to stabilize things. The second of which is I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit of buffer between my hands, my body, and the machine, just in case anything happened accidentally. This is an exceptionally dangerous toy. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a brief demonstration. The results are really cool. Let's take a look. Now I did the Naguri pattern on some very light wood. This is some elm, so it doesn't show up as well, but maybe if I create some shadow here, you can see just how cool it is. Now keep in mind, I don't know what I'm doing and I just started playing with this, but I mean, this pattern is super cool. This jig turned out to be pretty awesome, but I will admit it makes a mess of the workshop. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.